Well, hey there, folks. This is Barry's Best Honey. I'm Mike, and I do bees. Welcome back to another day in the 2020 beekeeping season, going all the way from last winter through to this fall here in my small operation in southeast Louisiana. And this is not a how-to video, it's a how I do video. Not telling anybody how to do beekeeping, just showing you my year in beekeeping, what it takes for just an average guy doing it a certain way to keep bees over a season. These videos came from, and I've probably explained this before, from a year, probably 2 or 3 years ago, where I was pulling honey in August or July or whenever. It was hot, let's just know that, and I had super stacked really high that particular year, and they were full. It was one of my big harvests that year, and man, I was struggling out there by myself, and I thought, man, all these people that walk up to me at the market all the time and say, hey, I want to get bees, hey, I'm going to get bees, hey, I'm going to get bees. And I was thinking that day, boy, if they could be with me right now, they may not want to get bees. So I said, man, I need to make a series. And I actually started making one. And I actually got the old video footage somewhere. But I never did publish it. I just kind of put it, on the back burner. Well, then this year I happened to see a GoPro laying around. I said that I had bought couple years ago from a guy real cheap, and decided to start trying it again. And I had been out scraping frames and all that, and I was like, people need to see this. They need to see the scraping the frames and cleaning the grooves and washing the plastic comb and replacing foundation and all that good stuff. And then it got the gears rolling, and that's where we're at. So that's why it's a how I do video, just showing you my season. And there's other guys out there showing you their seasons in different regions, and I think that's great for people to see. You can see how people are doing it everywhere else and get a good idea if you're a beginner. And even if you're not a beginner and you're out there and you're just a beekeeper out there looking at different videos, you can surely pick up different ideas, even if they are in different regions, different things to do and all. So that's kind of why this is a how I do video and not a how-to. So what do we got going on today? Well, it's just another day of doing oxalic acid treatments. I got to feed a hive, throw a jar feeder on. But today, since I showed you just a distant view of me just trying to run through the hive, today what I'll do is I might just go and do a little close-up of my vaporizer. And it's I think the Oxivap 110 or something. Very common. Everybody's pretty much picking it up these days. It's pricey. But it is a time saver. I've actually been doing OA now for quite a while, and I had an old wand. I picked it up. It was actually a couple years before they began to approve it in the U.S. I was toying with it with a wand, and that wand was taking forever. And the battery would die halfway through, so I'd have to do half the hives one day, half the hives the next day, and then repeat the next week. And I saw the Oxivap. It was still kind of new at the time, because again, it wasn't necessarily an approved process in the U.S. The guy started building them, and I decided, hey, I need to go ahead and try and grab one of those. And they're really nice. They really are. They're well built. And yeah, it's pricey, but I wait to the end of the year and I take from my profits in my bee operation and I go back and buy big ticket items. And that's what I did. So I got it. It works nice. The wand is still a great thing. I loan it out. And I got it loaned out now. I loan it out to people. And I give them a thing of 99% pure oxalic acid and I send it to them and say, here's how you do it. And it's a nice little tool when you have 5 or 6 hives. When you start getting over 10, it really begins to get time consuming because the wand works. You stick it in, it takes about 2 minutes. When the battery's fresh, 2 minutes and 30 seconds, and it'll be burned out of the amounts you need in there. And then you leave it for another 2.5 minutes to kind of cool. Then you pull it and keep the hive stuff for 10 minutes, and you move to the next one. And you see that takes 5 minutes each time with the wand itself, plus the 10 minutes of sealing. And here it takes 20, 30 seconds, maybe 40 sometimes if it's cool out to burn it all out and get back up to temperature. That's a lot quicker than 2.5 minutes. And I take my time. Again, I don't have holes in the back of my hives. I might do that one day, and it is easier. And I guess I could just plug it with a golf tee or something, or some kind of 1/4-inch dowel. But I just don't feel like doing that right now. It's just as easy to do it in the front for me. And I have screen bottom, so I slide chloroplast in the bottom. And you'll see on some of mine, you'll see a lot of vapor coming back out of that. But that's okay. There's still plenty going up in it. Another thing I notice when I do the vaporizations is even after the very first one, the next week the bees seem to be more lively in some cases. Some of the hives, you'll see a hive that wasn't really doing a lot. Then you get done with the vaporization, and man, all of a sudden you see a lot more activity moving. And I wonder sometimes, is that because they were stressed? Was the mite load that big? Well, if I did mite counts like I should, I'd know that. And I do need to be more disciplined with that. I just seem to get going 100 miles an hour with them and just don't get to it. And then I'm like, well, it's too late to worry about it now. I need to treat. So I go treat them, and they live. And I'm like, well, whether I knew what it was or whether I didn't, did it really matter? I don't know. And that's for me in my small operation. It's small, If I had 200-300 hives, I'd probably be doing some mite counts randomly here and there to kind of see where I was at, because that's a major loss. 20-30% of that's big. So today I'm gonna go ahead and take a closer look at the vaporizer. Not go through it. I'm not gonna do a tutorial or anything. I'm just gonna show you it and a little closer up than what I did last week. For those of you that may not have seen it, or those of you that are considering using it, or those of you that are considering building it. Now, there's some cheaper models out there now. Somebody's finally come out and made a cheaper model, and I guess those work just as well. And so maybe they do, maybe they don't. I don't know. This is just the one I bought, and I actually bought it from the guy that manufactured it because he's a little bit cheaper than the bee houses are. So I like it, and it's been a great tool that I added. I guess this is my 3rd year using it, and I really like it. And this vaporizer really does a nice job, and that's why I don't get in a hurry and try and just fly through them. I can do other things while I'm out there, and I'm out there in the heat, so let's do it anyway. I hear the cicadas in the trees, the morning glories are blooming, and we're gonna go out and treat these hives. All right, let's go out there and take a look. All right, I got a little box I put mine in. A company I was working for a few years back was throwing this away. It fits good in here. What I call it? Anyway, I called it something, but it's the ProVap 110. I'm sure y'all have seen these 100 times over. You don't have to set anything. It's got all that stuff, but it's already set from the guy that builds them. If you build your own, I think most people have to get this cup milled, and you're gonna need these milled out too. But you can buy these too, and you can buy this very exact same controller. But and I've got the expertise to do it electronically. That's no problem. It's just that I don't want to. Give me a little oxalic acid. They give you a scoop with it, and you just put it in the cup, flip it on. So we'll go out there and do this real quick. But yeah, this thing has really helped me out a lot. I like it. Well, first things first, need to feed this one little nuke. They were very light. Let's see what they're eating right now. They were light, and one of these deeps was light. But I told y'all in my last video that the bees are working and there's something coming in. I believe there's some goldenrod sporadic. I saw more goldenrod blooming up near Robert, Louisiana. It blooms early every year there, but it really bloomed early this year. Let me look and see if they're bringing in pollen. Oh yeah, I'm looking from here. Look, the bees are working. I don't know if there's any nectar going too heavy, but that one hive, it put on weight while I was on vacation. It was light enough where I was like, okay, I need it. I picked it up last week and it put on weight. So the nuke might have been putting on weight, but I went ahead and fed it because it was super light. But let's take a look at what's coming in. So that hive, every single bee coming back. I did not see one empty bee. Every single one had pollen. Whether it was yellow, light yellow, almost white, or orange, they were bringing in pollen. So that even, oh wow, a tree came down. That is exactly what I was saying videos back during the middle of the season, that you can look around and see nothing blooming, but that doesn't mean they're not finding something. We just can't see it all the time with our eyes what they're going to, where they're going. They might be going 3 miles from here finding something that's blooming. But I look all around here and nothing is blooming, but something is blooming, right? Now, bahia grass, that people don't understand that sometimes. They'll bring pollen off of that. They'll clog a hive with that. So if you got a hayfield nearby that's bahia, you better watch your hives, because and this came from a Florida inspector telling my friend this. They'll clog a hive, and I've actually seen them get pollen bound with bahia when I didn't cut this field for a while. Not pollen bound, but bringing in a lot of pollen. So, and it's a darker color pollen, but they'll do it. They'll bring it in. So that's something. There's something out here. Just can't see it. It's probably down in the woods somewhere. All right, let me feed this nuke. Yeah, that was a quarter full yesterday. They're drinking it about it. It's taking them about 2 days to drink this.
Alright guys, I hope you can hear me. I'm going to come up close, but I got the respirator on. This is how I do it. Now here's my ProVap. I want it around 230. I say 225 to 230 is where I keep it. And that's how I start with it. So first thing I go ahead and do is get an introducer in for now. Of course you need oxalic acid. Double Deep gets 1 scoop. And you're ready to go. I just shove it in about like so. I don't need to put it all the way in. Just enough to help me block the entrance. This is loaded with propolis. Then I put my cap on. Now, that thing gets hot, so I got to use a hive tool later. I put my cap on. Take it like so. Knock it down in there. You can see where the leaks are, boy. It comes right out. Now watch my temperature. Temperature's going on down. Still burning. It's going to stabilize in a minute. Alright, starting to stabilize. Usually around 200, 205. Now it's going back up. You can hear the generator kicking in because it's going, but now it's up. Once it starts going back up, the instructions tell you it's done. Now you'll have residual, but we're still looking for a clean burn, and we got a good clean burn. That's all there is to it with this thing. Now again, when I put the lid on, like this one right here, this thing is hot. I take this tool, I flip it, and I push it with that. And I do the same thing. I do this. Now this thing can set. While this sets, I'm already at 230, I'm going back down. I got chloroplast in here. You can see it's kind of sneaking out the front, but that's okay. Go ahead now, fill up the next one. You got a bunch of these caps and you can order more. You can really make time. Alright, where's our temperature? Went down to 204, now we're going back up to 205. 206. Alright, she's done. Same thing. Now on this one I got a bigger entrance. So since it's a bigger entrance, I just shove my rag in and make it a small entrance. I should do it on this end. There we go. We do the same thing again. cap on. Shoot it in there. Oh yeah. In she goes. I got a few leaks. Alright. Load the next cup. Load the next cup. Alright, let's look at the temp. We didn't get down as much. Going back up. What's the test? To see if we got a clean burn. So look. I got a clean burn. Now let's do something different. This is a recommendation by the manufacturer if you don't use the holes in the back. You take a paint stick and you stick it on like so, okay? Do the same thing. And the paint stick goes across the hole. That's their recommendation. It works. You can go from hive to hive like this too. Alright, we're going back up. Yep, we're going back up. Now, the issue with the paint stick is you got to keep the front of the hive sealed when you're done, but obviously I didn't do that. So let's try it again. Got a few leaks in this hive. You tap it so you can get every bit out of that cap. See, the leaves are coming out, they're covered, so it's going up in there. They're kind of powdery looking. All right, temperature's going back up. I'll leave this on here this time. And guys, that's essentially it. That's what I do. I have different methods. That one hive should have been sealed up longer. It wasn't. But we got a good dose across them. And look, we're already back up to 230. So with this warm weather, it heats up pretty quick. That's all there is to it, folks. That's what I do. That's 5 hives done. And I got to go knock out the rest. So that's what we'll do. guys, that's really it. When you got one quick, when everything's set up, I already got entrance reducers in. I got chloroplast in the screens. You just go hive to hive to hive and it's all set up. It's just that easy. And I can actually leave those sealed up. So that's it. I got, 20 minutes, I got 9 hives done. That normally took me about 3 hours with the wand. So great improvement. But anyway, let me get the rest of these done. I got to go down the pond. I got to go next door and we'll be done. All right, guys.
Well, folks, that's it for today again. Time to close this video out. Sitting in the shade with the chain shirts. It's one of those days where you can actually get in the shade and it's not bad at all. Getting ready to transfer all my equipment over to my truck, which is the generator, the vaporization case that I got with all my gear in it, and I think I got a super on a hive out there, so I'm gonna bring my fume board and of course my smoker. Throw all that in the back of the truck with my suit, and we're gonna head over to the pond. I gotta do 3 hives. I'm not gonna take y'all along with that. It's the same thing I've been doing, and again, this video is the same as last week. I just show you a little close-up of the vaporizer, how my understanding is of to use it. One thing I could say is I don't keep my hive sealed like I should, and with the bottom boards being screened and having just the chloroplast slide in there, they really don't seal that well anyway. But I shoot that stuff in there, I leave them sealed for a few minutes, and then we pull them apart and move on down to the next one. It took me about an hour to do everything, from the time I gathered my equipment, put it all out there, and got the vaporization done, rode over to the other side, got that one done. But it took about an hour total with everything, not counting having to do videos and set up cameras and stuff. And now I'm going to go to the pond. I may do a 4th treatment, I'm not sure, but I got a 3rd one to do still. I may do a 4th one. They say the better way to do the oxalic acid is every 5 days, 4 times. Which I can see that, because if you do 7 days, you are overlapping with brood and capped brood and uncapped and all that good stuff. But I don't know, it's working for me. I do appreciate all y'all coming along. I know it's the same thing day in, day out, but I said I was going to log my season, and I'm logging my season, and just taking everybody along who wants to come along. So again, I appreciate everybody watching, man. I sure hope you liked the video. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to share this video with your friends, your family, anybody just enjoys watching bees. Hey, this is Barry's Best Honey. I'm Mike, and I do bees. Y'all have a wonderful afternoon, and God bless y'all.